I saw several movements, a head movement from left to right several times, the entire statue moving down to the left. It was very erratic.
Ancient statues, silent and still for centuries, have suddenly come to life, leaving scientists baffled and searching for answers.
Is thought to represent a male figure who may have been a prisoner offered in a ritual.
From the statue of Ballinspittle that was said to have moved itself to the mind-blowing discovery of a pit housing statues of terracotta soldiers dating back 2,000 years, no one could have anticipated the chaos and wonder this event would unleash. Let's dive in.
Catholics carry along a statue of Jesus Christ on a crucifix. Many believe that this statue has the power to deliver miracles.
The moving statues of Ballinspittle. In the summer of '85, the village of Ballinspittle in County Cork, Ireland, hit the headlines with something that would have you doubting your eyes. On July 22nd, locals claimed the Virgin Mary herself, parked in her usual spot along the Ballinspittle to Kinsale Road, decided to stir things up. Literally. This wasn't your garden variety religious icon. This statue reportedly moved on its own. As buzz about the roadside wonder spread, the grotto, adorned in blue and white and lit by a halo of tiny bulbs, started drawing crowds like a rock concert. By the summer's end, the tally of visitors eager to catch Mary in action hit a staggering 100,000. From the faithful to the flat-out skeptical, everyone wanted a piece of the action. Witnesses swore they saw her face change expression, her eyes flutter open and close, and her body sway as if catching a breeze. While the masses were enthralled, the Catholic Church pumped the brakes on the miracle talk. A local bishop waved off the whole affair as an illusion, urging folks to keep their wits about them. Meanwhile, brainiacs from University College Cork chimed in with their 2 cents. Chalk it up to the autokinetic effect, they said. That's a fancy way of saying, if you stare long enough at a still object in dim light, your brain might just convince you it's moving. Not everyone was on board with the mystical happenings. One hot August night in 1985, the statue faced a smackdown by anti-idolatry protesters, leaving it in need of some divine restoration. Yet, even a scuffle couldn't keep the crowds away, and the fixed-up statue continued to pull in pilgrims. The frenzy eventually cooled off, but the story of the moving Mary of Ballinspittle didn't just fade into the mists of Ireland.
Like and subscribe right now, and you'll have amazing luck for the rest of the week.
Decades later, the site remains a pilgrimage hotspot, a testament to the enduring allure of a good mystery wrapped in a veil of faith. Whether it was a miracle, a trick of the light, or something in between, Ballinspittle's Summer of the Virgin Mary still captures imaginations and stirs souls, proving some tales, like some statues, are set in stone. Jesus Christ statue opening his eyes. Back in June 2016, a seemingly mundane church service in Mexico's Coahuila de Zaragoza took a turn straight out of a movie scene. Inside the chapel of Saltillo, a statue of Jesus Christ did something that left thousands scratching their heads. It supposedly opened its eyes. The entire moment was caught on video, and boy did it stir up a storm when it hit the internet, thanks to Dimensional, a site that digs deep into paranormal stuff. Now, before you jump to conclusions, let's unpack this a bit. The video zooms in on Jesus' statue, and as the background hums with the typical church service, those carved eyes pop open and then shut just as quickly. Spooky, right? The footage spread like wildfire, making believers, skeptics, and everyone in between click, watch, and argue over what they saw. Enter the squad of paranormal investigators, more than 20 to be precise, including priests, sculptors, and special effects experts who pored over this footage. After hours of analysis, their verdict? Nothing fishy here. That's right, no evidence of any digital trickery. Ivan Escamilla, the man running the show at Dimensional, even went on record to say the footage was as normal as it gets in their line of work. Meanwhile, the church higher-ups in the Diocese of Saltillo wanted no part in this circus. They didn't even peek at the video. Can you blame them? But wait, there's more. This isn't the first time a religious statue has caused a stir. Over in Fresno, California, a statue of the Virgin Mary, owned by Maria Cardenas, reportedly wept oily tears that smelled of roses. Maria, who's had the statue for over a decade, even collected these tears in a glass. Talk about a conversation starter. Visitors could see and smell the evidence for themselves. Whether it's a technical glitch, a divine sign, or just optical illusions, these events keep our love for mysteries alive. Weeping Virgin Mary. Weeping Virgin Mary statues have always been a bit of a head-scratcher, capturing the curiosity of both the devout and the skeptical. These statues aren't just shedding any old tears. We're talking about what looks like human tears, oil, or even blood. And despite many a furrowed brow from scientists and believers alike, some of these occurrences still baffle the best of them. Let's take a trip back to 1953 in Syracuse, Sicily, where it all kicked off with a plaster statue of the Virgin Mary, owned by a couple of newlyweds. This wasn't just a case of a leaky statue. The tears were chemically similar to human ones. The local Sicilian bishops gave their nod of recognition on December 13, 1953, sealing the deal on its authenticity in the eyes of believers. Fast forward to 1995 in Civitavecchia, Italy, and you've got another tearjerker, literally. Here, a Madonna statue took things up a notch by weeping blood. Around 60 people, including the local bishop, saw it happen. Tests later confirmed the blood was male. Plot twist. The statue's owner, Fabio Gregori, dodged a DNA test, leaving the mystery unsolved and everyone on the edge of their seats. More recently, in 2018, attendees of Our Lady of Guadalupe Catholic Church in Hobbs, New Mexico, witnessed a bronze Virgin Mary statue crying during a Sunday Mass. This time, the tears were analyzed as olive oil mixed with a fragrance similar to chrism, an anointing oil sacred in Catholic rites. Despite a thorough investigation, no natural explanation could be pinned down. So, what's the scientific community's take on all this? Well, they've got theories aplenty. Condensation could be making it look like the statues are crying, but that doesn't explain the blood or oil. Another guess is capillary action, with liquid sneaking through tiny cracks. And yes, a few pranksters have been caught red-handed, adding a little something extra to the statues to stir up a spectacle. The Catholic Church isn't jumping to any divine conclusions. They tread carefully, updating their procedures in May 2024 to ensure every teary tale is scrutinized, keeping hoaxes at bay and safeguarding the faith of their flock. After all, in the world of mysterious weeping statues, it seems you really can't please everyone. Warrior statue unearthed in Mayan ruins. In December 2022, a team from Mexico's National Institute of Anthropology and History was brushing off some old stairs at the ancient Maya city of Oxkintoc, just about 55 kilometers south of Mérida in Yucatan, when they stumbled upon something remarkable. They unearthed a life-size limestone statue. This one was headless, handless, and missing parts of its legs and feet, measuring up to a mysterious 1.65 meters. That's roughly 5 feet 5 inches. Here's where it gets interesting. The experts reckon this wasn't just an unfortunate case of wear and tear. No, this statue likely depicts a captured warrior, probably a prisoner of war. You see, in Maya culture, taking the head off a statue of a captured enemy was their way of symbolizing defeat, a rather stark reminder of the fate awaiting those who crossed them. The statue was found lying on its back as if it had just decided to take a long nap right there by the hieroglyph-laden staircase the archaeologists were fixing up. Luis Pantoja Diaz, one of the archaeologists at the scene, gave us the lowdown on the details. He pointed out the well-defined pectorals and what he quaintly referred to as a hanging belly. No gym workouts for this warrior, it seems. And even the part of the member. Yep, that part. Now, Diego Prieto, the head honcho at the INH, chimed in with his thoughts. He's pretty convinced that the statue's dramatic decapitation and the missing appendages are classic signs of a warrior who lost out big time in battle. It's like a 3D snapshot of history, capturing the intense focus the Maya placed on warfare and their ritualistic leanings. And speaking of rituals, it's possible this stony soldier wasn't just left there as a historical footnote. Instead, he might have been an offering to the gods, a stone testament to the blood and sweat of the battlefield, woven deeply into the spiritual fabric of Maya culture. Oxkintoc, by the way, wasn't just some backwater outpost. This place was bustling from the late pre-classic all the way to the late post-classic periods. Its strategic location and treasure trove of architectural gems like pyramids and monuments make it a goldmine for understanding Maya urban planning and societal structures. So, this headless warrior statue, it's more than just stone and missing parts. It's a puzzle piece in the grand picture of Maya life. shedding light on how they celebrated their victories, remembered their vanquished foes, and honored their gods. You've got to hand it to those archaeologists. Digging up the past can sometimes present the most unexpected yet fascinating windows into ancient civilizations. Who knows what other secrets lie buried, just waiting to be rediscovered? Nashville's Parthenon. In 438 BC, the ancient Greeks decided to go all out and craft a colossal statue of Athena Parthenos, who wasn't just any goddess, but the emblem of wisdom and warfare. Master sculptor Phidias got the gig, and boy did he deliver. This wasn't just a statue. It was a towering marvel that stood about 12 meters, 39 feet tall, housed within the Grand Parthenon on the Acropolis of Athens. Now, imagine crafting something that gigantic, not with just any materials, but with gold and ivory. Yes, gold and ivory. This wasn't just to show off how much they adored Athena. It also screamed of the immense value and reverence the Athenians held for their patron goddess. Athena stood there, all decked out in a flowing tunic, looking regal and formidable. And if the gold wasn't enough to stun you, on her breastplate was the head of Medusa, intricately done up in ivory. But wait, there's more. In her right hand, she held a little statue of Nike, the goddess of victory, which itself was about 1.2 meters, around 4 feet tall, because when you're Athena, you go big or go home, right? Her left hand, casually resting on a shield with a serpent chilling at her feet, identified as Erichthonius. Oh, and not to miss, the base of the statue featured a relief showcasing the birth of Pandora. The level of detail was nothing short of a blockbuster production. However, as with all great things, the statue had its share of drama. A fire around 165 BC did a number on it, and then this guy, Lachares, stripped off the original gold in 296 BC to pay his troops, swapping it with gilded bronze. The final act of the Athena Parthenos is wrapped in mystery. Some say it was shipped off to Constantinople, meeting its possible end during one of the city's many sieges. Though the original might be lost to time, its impact isn't. Today you can catch a glimpse of what the hype was all about through various replicas, with a full-scale one proudly standing in Nashville, Tennessee, since 1990. This modern tribute lets us all sneak a peek into the grandeur of what Phidias whipped up, continuing to dazzle audiences and keeping Athena's legacy alive. Just goes to show that you can't keep a good goddess down. The Dancing Shiva of India. Let's talk about a figure that's not just a statue but a powerhouse of symbolism, Nataraja, or the Dancing Shiva. This isn't your everyday deity. Nataraja is a cosmic dancer who performs the universe's life cycle dance right before our eyes, embodying creation, preservation, and destruction. And boy, does he do it with style. Nataraja's depiction is nothing short of dramatic. Lord Shiva, in the throes of his dance, is surrounded by a fiery ring. He's not just showing off his dance moves, he's standing on the dwarf demon Apasmara, who represents ignorance. In his hands, he holds the instruments of the universe, a drum in his upper right hand for creation's rhythm, and a flame in his upper left hand signaling destruction. His other hands are just as expressive, with one offering reassurance and the other pointing to his lifted foot, signaling liberation. It's a visual feast that spells out the eternal dance of the cosmos, balancing between being and non-being. These iconic bronze sculptures hit their stride during the Chola dynasty, ruling the scene from the 9th to 13th centuries CE in South India. The Chola artisans weren't just crafting metal, but merging art with deep spiritual insights, creating statues that have left people in awe for centuries. Their work is celebrated for its divine craftsmanship and the profound spiritual narratives it captures. Nataraja's appeal isn't confined to religious or cultural realms either. In a rather surprising twist, a 2-meter-tall statue of Nataraja was installed in 2004 at the European Organization for Nuclear Research, CERN, in Geneva. Why, you ask? Well, it turns out the cosmic dance of Shiva mirrors the dance of subatomic particles. This fascinating parallel draws an intriguing line between ancient myths and modern science. Physicist Fritjof Capra even remarked on how Shiva's dance unites the threads of ancient mythology, religious art, and contemporary physics. The moving black Nazarene. The Black Nazarene, or as it's known in Spanish, Nuestro Padre Jesús Nazareno, isn't just any statue. It's a life-sized representation of Jesus Christ, and it's enshrined in the minor basilica of the Black Nazarene in the bustling heart of Quiapo, Manila, in the Philippines. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The statue, carved from dark wood by an anonymous Mexican artist, made a grand entry into the Philippines way back in 1606, courtesy of Augustinian Recollect missionaries who traveled all the way from Acapulco, Mexico. You could say it's been around the block a few times. The Black Nazarene is no ordinary figure. Devotees believe it holds miraculous powers, particularly the knack for healing illnesses and answering prayers. Imagine this. Every January 9th, the streets of Quiapo are a sea of barefoot believers. They're not just there for a walk in the park. They're part of the Traslación, a mammoth procession commemorating the statue's relocation from its first home in Intramuros to Quiapo Church. This isn't your average parade. We're talking millions of people braving the intense heat, all to get close to the statue or its ropes, seeking miracles or giving thanks for blessings received. The resilience and deep faith of the Filipino people truly shine here. Monsignor Jose Clemente Ignacio once pointed out the dedication of these devotees, some of whom wait up to 7 hours for a moment with the Nazarene. He marvels at their resilience, all fueled by profound faith. Through centuries, the Black Nazarene has stood the test of time, surviving not just one, but several fires that razed the church, the tremors of earthquakes, and even the chaos of wartime bombings. Each challenge has only deepened the people's devotion, seeing in the Nazarene a beacon of hope and enduring spirit. But let's set the record straight. While the statue's journeys during the processions are a massive effort by the devotees, the Black Nazarene itself doesn't take strolls on its own. The term moving Black Nazarene captures the dynamic spirit of these processions, a vivid display of the collective faith and devotion of millions. So there you have it, a statue that not only stands but inspires and gathers a nation year after year. Whether you're a believer in miracles or just in the power of faith, the story of the Black Nazarene is a testament to the enduring human spirit that connects us all. Quite the sight to behold, and an even more remarkable story to be part of. Wouldn't you agree? The miraculous infant Jesus of Prague. Back in the 16th century, the infant Jesus of Prague, a roughly 19-inch tall figure, was meticulously crafted in Spain, radiating divine royalty with every detail. Fast forward to the grand entrance of Maria Maximiliana Manrique de Lara y Mendoza, who, in true noble fashion, brought the statue to Bohemia, hello, Czech Republic, as part of her dowry. Quite the wedding gift, right? But in 1628, her daughter, Princess Polixena of Lobkowicz, handed over this prized possession to the Discalced Carmelite friars in Prague with a poignant message. I give you what I prize most highly in the world. Honor this image, and you shall never want. Little did she know, this act would kick off a roller coaster of events. As the 30 Years' War raged on, Prague saw its fair share of chaos. The Carmelite monastery didn't escape unscathed, plundered in 1631, with the beloved statue tossed aside like yesterday's news, hands shattered. But wait, the plot thickens. In 1637, Father Cyril of the Mother of God stumbled upon the neglected statue. As he prayed, he reported the statue's plea, "Have mercy on me, and I will have mercy on you. Give me my hands, and I will give you peace. The more you honor me, the more I will bless you." Talk about a holy conversation. Moved by these words, Father Cyril ensured the statue was restored to its former glory. And guess what? Post-makeover, the statue didn't just sit pretty. It became a beacon of hope and miracles. During a 1639 Swedish siege, the locals were convinced that the infant Jesus was their divine protector, shielding the city. By 1655, the statue's VIP status was cemented with a ceremonial crowning by the Bishop of Prague. And just like that, a star was born. Over the years, the infant Jesus of Prague became a global sensation, with replicas gracing countless churches and homes worldwide, bringing miracles, healings, and a bit of heavenly intervention to those in need. Today, the original statue still holds court in the Church of Our Lady Victorious in Prague, attracting pilgrims from every corner of the globe seeking a touch of the divine. So, if you ever find yourself in Prague, a visit might just leave you feeling blessed. ancient bronze statues emerge in Tuscany. You know, you'd think digging around in the mud would just leave you dirty, but for a team of archaeologists in Tuscany, it paid off in a big way. In November 2022, this team hit the jackpot in San Cassiano dei Bagni, a scenic hilltop town. They unearthed not one, not two, but 24 spectacularly preserved bronze statues dating from the 2nd century BCE to the 1st century CE. Found submerged in the muck of ancient thermal baths, these figures were cradled by mineral-rich waters that kept them astonishingly well preserved over millennia. Each statue, a detailed masterpiece, offers a peek into the artistic genius of the time. Among the ensemble, you've got heavy hitters like Hygeia, the goddess of health, and Apollo, looking as regal as ever. Imagine the finesse it took to craft those intricate details that have stood the test of time. But that's not all. Alongside these artistic treasures, over 5,000 coins made of bronze, silver, and gold were also discovered. This treasure trove gives us a glimpse into the bustling economic and cultural exchanges during a pivotal era, transitioning from Etruscan to Roman dominance. Leading the charge on this historical gold mine was Jacopo Taboli from the University for Foreigners of Siena. He's not one to exaggerate, but even he declared this find as a discovery that will rewrite history. The site, it turns out, was more than just a spa getaway. It was a sanctuary, a sacred spot where Etruscan and Roman folks sought divine help, as the inscriptions in both languages suggest. And because good news never stops, the Italian Ministry of Culture is already on the move, planning a new museum right there in San Cassiano. They're keen on setting up a space where these statues can be appreciated not just by the locals, but by anyone keen to dive deep into history. Meanwhile, the statues are getting some TLC and undergoing careful restoration to keep them looking their best for their future debut. So, while you can't always please everyone, I bet the archaeologists are pretty pleased with themselves, and rightly so. What a story they'll have to tell for generations to come, all because they decided to play in the mud. Terracotta Army. In March 1974, a group of farmers in Lintong County, Shanxi Province, China, stumbled upon something extraordinary beneath their feet. They were only digging a well in their arid fields, but what they found would leave historians and tourists mesmerized for generations. As their shovels hit the dirt, not just any soil turned up. Among the earth were pieces of terracotta pottery, initially just fragments, one of which was a life-sized head. These weren't just archaeological artifacts. They were the echoes of ancient warriors. These farmers had no idea they had just uncovered a part of a vast underground military legion, silent for over 2,000 years. Realizing the significance of their find, the farmers alerted local authorities, bringing Zhao Kangmin into the picture. Zhao, a self-taught archaeologist and curator at the Lintong Museum, hurried over, curiosity piqued. His expertise led to a careful gathering and piecing together of what turned out to be remnants from the time of the Qin dynasty. Further digs at the site opened up a remarkable vision. Archaeologists unearthed 3 main pits that housed an estimated 8,000 terracotta soldiers. These weren't your run-of-the-mill clay figures. They were a meticulously crafted army of life-sized statues, complete with horses and chariots, all arranged as if ready to march into battle. What's fascinating is each statue's uniqueness. There are no cookie-cutter soldiers here. Every warrior had its own set of facial features, expressions, and even hairstyles, mirroring the diversity of what would have been the emperor's real army. Their heights varied, with generals towering over the rest, and the intricacies didn't stop at their visages. The detail stretched to their armor and weapons, offering a slice of military life from ancient China. The Terracotta Army, as it came to be known, wasn't just an accidental find. It turned out to be one of the most significant archaeological discoveries of the 20th century. It painted a vivid picture of the military organization and artistic brilliance during the Qin dynasty, offering scholars a deeper insight into ancient China's history. Now, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, this spot attracts millions from around the world, all eager to gaze upon an emperor's guardians, meant to protect him into the afterlife. Just imagine the stories those silent soldiers could tell if they could talk. But for now, their stoic poses in the site itself speak volumes, bridging a connection to China's storied past. What do you think about this unbelievable moment in the video? Have you ever heard of an ancient statue moving on its own? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more fascinating stories and mysteries waiting to be uncovered.